The World Cup champion will be crowned this week, and you can trade the tourney through the finals on Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform. Right now, Spain is trading at 58% to beat Argentina, meaning 100 trade pays out $166 if they win. On Kalshi, you're trading against other people in a live market. No house, no odds makers. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code HOOPS to get $10 when you trade $10. KALSHI. Kalshi. Trade the beautiful game. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Kalshi products are not available in all jurisdictions. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory.
The grill is shot. The chairs are held together by optimism. And what happened to the rug? Sounds like your outdoor setup is not ready for patio season. Fix it all with Wayfair. Shop Wayfair for grills, rugs, furniture, and more. With 20 million 5-star reviews, room of choice delivery, and expert setup on qualifying orders, it's never been easier to do more for less. Get 10% off your first eligible purchase. Hurry to wayfair.com or download the app now.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Hello, my name's David Seaman, and this is the Three Lions Podcast.
Credit to the manager. The manager gave us a speech at half-time just to say, look, if we lose, we lose. We lose in our way. And I think you saw that, how the way we come out in the second half, we went full gas, and they couldn't live with it. And that's the level we have to set for every game. So credit to everyone. The first game of the tournament, a great result against a tough side. In the second half, we felt like, let's just go. If we see a man in front, we go. And just the intensity we went at, I think that's our biggest strength. So we're going to have to use that more this tournament.
1, 2, 3, 4. Football's coming over again. It's all it's to go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Football's coming.
Hello and welcome to the Three Lions Podcast. My name is Russell Osborne. This is an independent England football supporters podcast. There we are. Our World Cup journey comes to an end at the hands of Argentina. With, in all honesty, a bit of a whimper. Sadly, it feels like we've seen this before. A few episodes back, I compared our journey to Euro 2024. I changed my mind after was it Mexico or Norway? I think, if you don't mind, I'll stick with my original observation. It all seems a long time ago since that opening victory against Croatia, where Thomas Tuchel said about losing his way. I'm not sure last night was what he had in mind. Alan Shearer said in pre-match commentary, this is the sort of game that gets players' juices flowing. I have to say, it's not the same for me. I genuinely felt sick. Twisted stomach, sweaty palms. I can't control my butterflies. I wasn't this nervous for my own wedding. You name it, I was trying to distract myself from doing it. Work, washing up, you name it. Bit of hoovering I even done, I think, as well. In the lead up, I'd seen too many memes generally concentrating on the Falklands. Pictures of an England shirt with the Belgrano on it, saying forwarded often. Pictures replicating those of Goose Green with the likes of Jude Bellingham replacing the soldiers of 1982, or submarine-related jokes, images. It became tiresome. It was like having a digital copy of the sun constantly under your thumbs. I read somewhere that it was just the Argentines who were bringing up the war, the Falklands, the Malvinas. Nonsense. So many England were doing it. Group chats, trying to be funny. And then to see the Argentina players at the end with their, predictable banner. Of course, they should get a fine for that from FIFA. They did do before, a few tournaments ago when they done similar. Perhaps it's just me. Perhaps I'm just a little bit woke. I don't know. Perhaps this fixture is more about 1982 than on the pitch. But as much as I'd like to see us move on, clearly it's not going to happen anytime soon. Anyway, wanted to get that off my chest. On to the game. Thomas Tuchel made 3 changes as Reece James, Jed Spence and Morgan Rogers came in for Ezri Konsa, Nico O'Reilly and Noni Madueke. Once again, a different England back 4 for this World Cup campaign. Harry Kane would win his 121st cap. Injuries and selection permitting, you would imagine he'll overtake Peter Shilton and become England's most capped player when we face the Czech Republic on the 6th of October in the Nations League at Wembley. Now, it's no surprise that each anthem was booed. The first 10 minutes of the game littered with fouls. Some given, some not. It was so bitty. Elliot Anderson, the butt of a few fouls. One from, I think it was Fernandes on him, a clump to the back of the head. And the ref, I think he let that one pass as well. I mean, he seemed to do that as the game continued. And in truth, the first half didn't give a great deal away. Nothing really of note. The nerves, well, they continued. The second half came, and very early on, Argentina, 2 efforts from Alvarez. Then it came. Morgan Rogers' cross. Anthony Gordon stealing in at the back post ahead of Molina to make it 1-0. We needed to push on, there and then. Take advantage of the moment. Bring Rashford on, maybe. Bellingham, at the time, really couldn't get a stranglehold of the game. But no, it was Argentina who pushed on. Jordan Pickford had a couple of saves just before the drinks break. And Thomas Tuchel chose to make the change of sitting back. And sitting back a bit more. Sitting back even more. Gordon was replaced by Konsa. Reece James, who looked like he'd taken a knock, he was replaced by Dan Burn. Declan Rice, who, to be honest, still didn't look 100%. He was replaced by Nico O'Reilly. These defensive changes were similar to Mexico and Norway. Did he have in mind that we were going to do it all again? But this time, we were trying to do it for nigh on half an hour. Argentina continued to press on. By this time, Chelsea's Fernandes had already had a couple of sighters, and on 85 minutes, smashed a long-range one past an outstretched Pickford. 1 apiece. Jed Spence, who'd had a great game, and to be fair, a decent tournament, well, he'd taken a knock and was then undone by Messi on the right, who crossed for Martinez to head the injury time winner. Rashford, well, he did make it on, but by this time it was too late. Ivan Toney joined him too for his first appearance of the tournament. You have to question, why was he really there? I'm not even sure either of them touched the ball in the time that they had. It's easy to say this is what we saw under Gareth Southgate in the 2 Euro finals. Is this an English mentality? We need to get over this hurdle. The more we hear of 66, the harder it is. In a twisted way, I almost wish 66 had never happened. We then wouldn't be constantly strangled by it. Thomas Tuchel was brought in to get us that second star. That is going to have to wait another 4 years. Once again, that stat about the World Cup being won by a team with a native manager will be trotted out again. And they say about not having regrets, leave it all out on the pitch. I think Thomas Tuchel will be thinking hard after this. He's contracted until Euro 2028, having been given that extension just before the World Cup. I think it's too early to comment on who, what, how should happen with regards to his position, but it's going to come under some scrutiny at some point, isn't it? The FA will sit around their table and discuss it. But who? Who could really come in. And then I wonder, when we look back on it all properly, will we look at it and see that it was just really the second half against Croatia and that Mexico performance that were the real highlights? But the performances against Ghana, Panama and Congo, they weren't performances of a World Cup winning side. Perhaps you could say Norway too, that was a fairly even game. This isn't a I told you so, but I was never really convinced this year would be our year. Of course, we're all dreaming the closer it got. We do have the foundations, but I'm just starting to be a little concerned about the future slightly now. Is this another golden generation that's missed the boat? That's my take on it. Let's hear from you guys.
Tommy Oldham here off Twitter. I'm gutted at that tonight. Disappointed. It's not the fact we've gone out, it's the manner in which we've gone out. We battled well, we played well, we're not 1-0. I thought the game was there for the taking. We should have pushed for the second one, which would have opened them up and they would have had to come at us, but we didn't. We sat back too easy. We invited them to come at us. You can't let a team that's got the likes of Messi, Alfred, Martinez, Fernandez come at us. And sadly, it was only a matter of time. You could see it happening that they were going to score. And Tuchel was brought in to win these big games to get us over the line. I'm not saying we'd have gone and won the final, but that was a perfect opportunity last night. And he got his tactics wrong. And he got his subs wrong. And that's the disappointing fact about it.
Frustrating for England. Same old, unfortunately. 55 minutes, we were fantastic. We had the performance right. We were nullifying Argentina. Didn't really see too much of Messi in those opening 55 minutes, and then we did the worst thing we could do, and we scored. And I was scoring. So frustrating to have gone out in that manner. However, another semi-final for England. It's going to have to become the bare minimum that now for England, a semi-final. We've got to take that next step and be finalists on a regular occasion, like Argentina, like Spain, like France have been over the years, and do it that way. We could talk about the changes all we want that Tuchel made or didn't make, but the thing is, had it worked out and we'd won 1-0, they would all be sat here calling it a Tuchel masterclass and we'll be through to the World Cup final. Some positives to take out of the tournament as a whole, but focus now needs to be on Euro 2028 and football returning, and the major national tournament returning to England. So lots of hope for the future. Just a lot of disappointment this morning, from the night before.
Hi Russell, Charlie here. Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? It's just another. It feels very familiar in terms of the way he went out, but at the end of the day, we can't fault the lads. Done so well this tournament, getting to another semi-final. I know it's obviously not what Tuchel came in to do, but at the same time, we were beaten by the better team. I think Argentina, really good team, world champions, and it was always going to be a difficult game. Obviously, there'll be question marks over the subs, and I was a bit confused, but at the same time, it worked for him in other games, so I can sort of understand why he went down that sort of defensive route. But at the same time, when you've got Dan Burn up front and Ezri Konsa pretty much on the right wing, end of the game, I think it was a bit too much really. But yeah, but we go again in 2 years' time. It'll be worth it one day. As much as it hurts, this England team continue now consistently get into semi-finals and finals, and look, it's only a matter of time. If we keep getting to these latter stages, eventually one will go our way. But yeah, still a great summer, loads of memories, but yeah, just a shame we couldn't get over the line. Yeah.
Hi Russell, Matt Asprey here again. I'm very deflated the morning after the game. I'm still baffled by what happened against Argentina, losing the tactics Tuchel employed. He basically did what Southgate has done in the past when Tuchel was brought in to not do that. But it's frustrating because that first half was cagey and Argentina were up to their tricks, getting away with fouls. And I thought England were doing quite well to not rise to that. I mean, obviously, there was that little melee at the start, but overall, they kept their heads. And then the second half, we went for them and scored. And that should have been an indication of what to do next after going 1-0 up, but we didn't. We instead sat back, invited the pressure, and unfortunately we were punished with 2 quick goals towards the end of the game. But in terms of what next, I think Tuchel has to stay. I don't know who else there is. The FA can't get themselves into a managerial merry-go-round like they have in the past with England managers, so Tuchel to stay. But I think now when it comes to the Euros, I think anything but a final appearance will be deemed a failure and could see him lose his job, even though his contract does run until the end of that tournament. Still, I think he has to win the Euros or at least get to the final. Otherwise, I think his tenure has been a poor one.
I suppose the big one for me is every single time we get ourselves in a position to finish someone off, we go defensive. Every single time. It happened in 2018. It happened in Euro 20. It happened, obviously, again against Spain when we got the equaliser. We were good for 5 minutes and we went backwards again. And then again tonight, we go 1-0 up. You could see the writings on the wall. What's it going to take for a manager to realise that we've got a load of guns, we need to use them instead of using the feather dusters?
Thank you, as always, for your contributions throughout this tournament. It's been really appreciated. There was a real mix of emotions there. Plenty of positivity too. So, yeah, perhaps I need to join that positivity gang.
The World Cup champion will be crowned this week, and you can trade the tourney through the finals on Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform. Right now, Spain is trading at 58% to beat Argentina, meaning 100 trade pays out $166 if they win. On Kalshi, you're trading against other people in a live market. No house, no odds makers. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code HOOPS to get $10 when you trade $10. KALSHI. Kalshi. Trade the beautiful game. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Kalshi products are not available in all jurisdictions. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory.
So, on to France. We last met in 2022, the Qatar quarter-final. You remember that one. The Harry Kane's missed penalty. It's a team we've faced on 32 occasions, our neighbours from across the channel. We've won 17, we've drawn 5, and we have lost 10. Now, we've met them previously in the World Cup before. 66 in the group stage, we won that one. Also in 82 in Bilbao. Winning 3-1 there. Of course, it's not the World Cup final. That'll be contested by Spain and Argentina. This is the third place match, or as FIFA have now rebranded it, the bronze match. It's actually a match France have contested on 4 occasions, winning twice and they've lost twice. Ourselves, we've been there twice too. We've lost them both 1990 and 2018. Now, France were one of the pre-tournament favourites. They came through their group winning 3 out of 3, Norway, Senegal and Iraq. The knockout saw them beat Sweden 3-0, Paraguay 1-0, then Morocco 2-0 before losing to Spain in their semi. I have to say, it's not exactly a game that whets the appetite, the third place match, but here we are. I'm delighted to welcome to the Three Lions podcast, England fan and French resident, friend of the show, Hugo Malim. Hello, Hugo.
Yeah, bonjour. How are you?
Yeah, not too good, but you know, it's same old, isn't it?
Yeah, this one, from the England perspective, does taste a little bit different, doesn't it? Quite bitter, that one.
Yeah, is it because of the way it happened?
Yeah, from my perspective, for the France one, if you like, it's even worse because France lost against Spain, obviously, but there's a bit of rivalry between France and Argentina since the last World Cup, the final, and it's quite bitter. And so all the French people I know, all my French friends were saying, "Come on, England, please win it for us, and then we'll beat them in the bronze final." So that's everyone. It's a double sort of disappointment, really. This one.
Yeah, there can't be too many people out there that have had two nights of disappointment, can there?
No, but it feels like it here for sure.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, well, let's just talk about France for a moment.
Yep.
They just surprisingly they just didn't turn up against Spain, did they?
Yeah, that's the feeling here, that they didn't turn up, and then they could have done better. You know, they just felt like they were outclassed by Spain. A lot of debate around the lineup that Deschamps put out. I just felt that they never had, they were never on second gear. They never had any sort of solution against Spain, which is very strange compared to how they started the World Cup, and especially all the way against even Morocco. They were quite streetwise against Morocco, but it seemed that they just couldn't find a way to win that game.
Was the general consensus that a final was the ultimate aim, that they had the capabilities to get to the final again?
Oh yeah, 100%. With that lineup, with the Olise, Mbappe, and Dembele for sure, 100%.
Yeah, it's and of course Didier Deschamps. This will be his last game. It's his last tournament. I was surprised. I didn't realise he'd been there since 2012.
Yeah, it's been a long, long time. Isn't it 2014? I think because 2014 was Laurent Blanc. I think Laurent Blanc, remember the French defender that played at Man United? He was manager after the disaster of South Africa. And I'm pretty sure he was the manager in 2014 when France lost to Germany. And then Deschamps came after.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure I'm correct. Sorry, if someone will check.
Yeah,
comment on it. But I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. My French national team knowledge isn't that hot. But I mean, regardless, that is a long time to be in charge of a national team. What is his reasoning? Just his time is up.
Well, to be honest, there was a bit of Deschamps fatigue for that campaign. It all started I call it Deschamps fatigue. All the way when, I don't know if you remember the Euro, when we went to the final, the 2020 that was played in 2021.
Yes.
Because France lost in the quarterfinal. Bit of a strange game that against Switzerland. There were people calling for his head at that time. Then it was also forgiven for 2022, and then 2024. Then people were disappointed. And they just announced shortly after that the World Cup would be his last competition.
So is there anyone lined up at the moment to take over?
It's the worst kept secret. It's going to be Zinedine Zidane next.
Oh, is it really? Kept secret that hasn't made it to my house.
Really?
I hadn't tapped into that.
He's turned away every single job application, or if you don't see him, mentioned in the BBC gossip sections, because it's a known fact that he's going to take over France after this World Cup. Yep.
Wow, that's the pressure going to be really ramped up then, isn't it? Because he hasn't been in a managerial position for some time, has he?
Yeah, but on the other hand, he has won everything as a player, everything as a manager. If you consider that winning the Champions League is the highest. So I think the next step for him, he feels, is taking over France and then try and win the next Euros.
Well, the next Euros to be held, of course, across the United Kingdom. We'll give him a welcome. Let's touch on last night, England and Argentina. Where do we start? I mean, we came into it off the back of the victory over Norway. Argentina came into it off the back of their victory over Switzerland. The rivalry is well known. What was your thoughts going into the game?
I don't know why I was so confident. I just felt it was our time, Russell. Right. I can't explain it. I don't know why. It wasn't being cocky. It was just I just felt all the stars were aligned. And as I said, all day yesterday, every single French colleague, French friend, gym mate, came up to me and said, "You have to beat them. Come on, we all now support England." So I just felt that is very new to me. You know,
Yes.
France supporting England against another country. I thought, yeah, we're gonna do this. And then there was a delay. I've got a delay on my TV. I don't know why. And so I heard people screaming outside of my flat, and I thought, oh, what's going on? And that's when England scored. And I thought, this is it. This is, we're gonna make it. And then the moment we switched to 5 at the back, I thought that is not the right way to go with this. And yeah, I was devastated after the game. It's just that the back five was not a good idea. Well, we now know it wasn't.
Of course.
I don't understand it. That's the main thing. I think that's, I've been online, and I think that's where we're all frustrated. We just don't understand what he was trying to do.
Yeah, you're right, because we've seen it happen sort of later in the games as we're trying to see out those games against Mexico and Norway when we're under the cosh. But to do it so early, there just seemed no rhyme or reason for it.
No, and also, if you want, let's say you feel that because Argentina were going to up it a notch a little bit, then why not try to keep possession with someone like Kobe Mainoo, who hasn't played a single minute so far? So there was an option there. And I felt like every time we actually went forward, they were terrified. They didn't know what to do. And again, we had options there. We had Rashford, who did, get on, but way too late. Saka, but is he injured? I don't know. It's just strange that we had all these options and he decided to copy what happened against Mexico. But Mexico was a different scenario. We were, there was a red card. There was no way we were going to score, even though we did. It was just strange. He just sort of copy pasted what he did against Mexico against a much, much better side.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Argentina, they've come through some. I think they've come through some tougher tests than we gave them against. Who was it? Cape Verde. They gave them a real game. Egypt should have put them to the sword. So we knew that there was chances that we could have taken them out and knocked them out, but it's like we gave into them.
My only explanation, because we don't have any so far, I mean, from what I've seen, because I had to stop watching, Top Talk Sports or Sky or whatever. So the only explanation I can see, but that's me, it's not anything that Tuchel has said, is that he probably saw the Egypt game and thought the same thing is going to happen to us. We're going to get overexposed, and then they're going to score 2 or 3 past us, and then we'll be out. That's my only explanation. I can't see any other one.
Yeah, I mean, regarding Tuchel, were you when he came in? Were you a fan, and where do you stand now?
Fan is a big word. I think I was on the train for sure because he won nearly everything.
Yeah.
He had a very strong reputation here, very strong reputation with Chelsea. Harry Kane seemed to be on board. And I think what turned me as I wouldn't say a fan, but what convinced me was that game that you covered on the podcast, the game in Belgrade. That was probably one of the best England performances I've seen in a long, long time. Bar the Croatia first half. But I'm talking a full game, a full 90 minutes. That was impressive to do that in Serbia. You might argue this is not the Serbia of 5-10 years ago. Yes, but still, that was impressive. Where do I stand now? Now that the dust has settled a little bit, I'm a little bit worried about one thing with him, is how is he going to cope with the pressure of the press? Because now the press is going to turn on him, and some of the fans might turn on him. So let's see what happened there.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say some of the fans will turn on him. The press will, I believe, probably start to turn the knife a little bit. It will be interesting to see how he reacts to it. I mean, especially in this game against France coming up. I know it's a bit of a strange game. It always is, because you'd expect there will be a bit of rotation for the players, the teams, from both sides. So it's almost a bit of a damned if you do, damned if you don't game and result, regardless of what happens. It'll be interesting to see how he reacts, because we saw a little bit of his nature in the interview after the Norway game with the ITV interviewer Gabriel Clark, just to see that he does turn a little bit, can't he?
Yeah, that's his. Well, that's his personality. I mean, I was shocked like everybody else that he reacted like this, but it's nothing new when you look into his career.
Yeah, he's had little moments before, but it'll be interesting to see how he goes forward. What the conversations are with the FA. We shall wait and see what comes out of that.
I think, Russell, that the FA has going to keep him. Like they shouldn't have extended his contract, but now that they have, it's a bit of a pickle now for them because who do they hire next? Where do they go? So I think they're going to keep him, and then it's going to be interesting to see how he copes with the players that he didn't call up, because he will have to call back some players, obviously.
Yeah.
Where do we go next? Is he looking at the under-21s who've been performing pretty well the last two tournaments? And also, as you said, what does he do on Saturday? Does he do a full change of lineup, or does he put players that still have something to do? It's not the right word, but they still have something to prove during this World Cup. What I'm trying to say is Bellingham and Kane could still be Golden Boot. So what do you do there? Do you just play those two and then sort of a different lineup? Because I'm pretty sure France will play Mbappe. I'm pretty sure they will, because Mbappe wants to get that Golden Boot. So really a question of what do we do? I think he will rotate a little bit, but not a full 11 start, not a full starting 11.
Yeah. Well, just touching on that Golden Boot award, I think with Messi's assist against England, that took him ahead of Mbappe, but they're both joint on 8 goals. Jude Bellingham, Harry Kane, both on 6. Dembele is on 5. And for Spain, just for someone else who is possibly in with a shout, is it Orfalabol? He's got 5. But yeah, I guess with that Golden Boot at stake, yes, Mbappe will be looking to score and get up the charts and hope that Messi doesn't in the final.
Yeah, exactly. There's been like this, again, I find it weird, but I don't know. There's been this whole talk around Mbappe, which England had the same with Bellingham, that claiming that he's not a team player, that's why PSG wouldn't win any trophies, or not major trophies, because of him and his attitude. Then he goes to Madrid, goes well the first year, but his second season wasn't too good. So I think he'll want to prove something on Saturday if he's playing, to show that, okay, it didn't work out against Spain, but he's the captain and he can still score against one of the major team in the world, which is England.
Yeah. And yeah, some of the goals he scored have been exceptional in this tournament. But as a tournament as a whole, what have you made of it?
I don't know if you remember this 4 years ago when we spoke to each other on the podcast before the game in Qatar. I said to you I wasn't convinced about moving from 32 to 48. My main complaint about this World Cup, it's too long. I'm exhausted, to be honest. I've watched so much football, I can't do it anymore. I think I'm going to have a massive break. But on the other side, I think it's good that some more teams have qualified. I can see this. I can understand this. My point is, after the group stage, we need to stick to top 2 go through, and then we keep on going into the final. We need to stop with this additional round where we don't even know who actually qualifies because there's so many factors. I don't know if you see where I'm going with this. I think 48 should be the maximum, and we really need to look into this group stages because it was too long. This World Cup was way too long.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. And yeah, having this third place or 8 third placed teams just waiting. I mean, it was Scotland, wasn't it, who had to wait, and who'd lost their game against Brazil, but had to wait 4 days until they found out whether they were going to be part of the tournament going forward, which seemed a very strange situation. But to get around this third place situation, do you not then have to go to what do we have? Bigger groups, or do we have an even more expanded tournament with people are talking of the 64 team tournament with lots of, I don't know how many groups that would be, but then the top 2 teams to then filter down to knockouts. I don't know how they would get around it.
I don't know either. So I didn't look into the detail of it. I'm trying to still think about what's the best format, because the problem is once you extend, it's difficult to downsize. You know.
Oh yeah, the days of the 32-team World Cup are gone now, I think, aren't they?
Yeah, I think for the Euros we're pretty safe because of the lack of countries that can host European Championships. So I think we're good on that front. It's just a World Cup. I don't know, Russell. I just felt it was an okay World Cup. It's just the main thing was it was too long, and of course, some managers pointed out that the water breaks were just divided the game in 4 rather than 2 halves. It was like 4 halves, if you like.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a disappointment, that, and it's almost come into people's vocabulary now that they're dividing the game up by saying, "Oh, after the water break, the hydration break, or into the third quarter," and I fear that might be something we see going forward in general in the game. It's sadly, they'll call it progression, I think. I think the quality of football overall, I think, has been quite good. None of the, I say smaller teams in the politest of ways, none of them were really outclassed, I don't think. There was a couple of big scores early on. But the one thing that I've felt from my own viewing perspective, there hasn't been a lot of exceptional goals.
Yep, that's correct. That's true. Yeah.
Maybe they're saving that for the final, Spain Argentina. So with your French colleagues, they'll all be going for Spain now. Then will they?
Yeah, 100%. The animosity between France and Argentina might be new, but it's very tense. I mean, just to give you an example, Paris were hosting the 2024 games, and oddly enough, there's football in the Olympic Games. Why? I don't know. But France played Argentina, and it ended up in a fight at the end of the game.
Oh.
An under 20, what was it? An under 20 game, under 21 game, basically, ended up in a fight between the French players and the Argentinian players. So every time they play each other, it's just very intense. So definitely I don't see many French people, except if they've got roots to Argentina, rooting for Argentina on Sunday.
So did that stem from the 2022 final?
Yes. I don't remember exactly we remember the game, how France came back. Yeah. It's just the attitude of the players, the Argentine players after the game. I think that wound up the French the wrong way. The keeper doing whatever gesture with his cup. Couple of things that were said after the game. And then there are chants by the Argentine supporters that are completely out of order towards Mbappe, and the fact that he's mixed race. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I think you know where I'm going with this. Yeah. They actually, and that's not on, and that's why there's this massive dislike, which I can see, I can understand. If a team had these sort of chants towards Bellingham, we wouldn't like that nation or team.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's interesting one. That I'd not really heard about that one, but I guess as the same with England, the times of playing the likes of Argentina aren't a few and far between.
Yeah, and the other way around, a lot of the French people I spoke to, when they said, there is a big rivalry between England and Argentina, didn't know about it. They remembered things like the hand of God or the Beckham red card, but they didn't realize that there had been, unfortunately, a war between the two countries. They didn't realize, some of the behavior of the Argentine players towards Beckham, for example, why he got the red card. So yeah, it's interesting because also in France they didn't realize the rivalry between the two countries.
So I think we're all going for a Spain win in the final then.
Yes, that's for sure.
We shall see. Hugo, thank you as always for joining us.
Pleasure.
It's always great to speak with you. You're on the socials, aren't you?
Yeah, my main social is on Twitter, Hugo Malim. My Twitter is mostly about football, especially the team I support here, which is Paris FC. So we talk about Paris FC with other fans, and I know some people are intrigued about this second team in Paris. So if any groundhopper needs some info about how to get tickets or whatever, then they can reach out, no problem.
Oh, I may take you up on that one day. Paris FC, they're Paris Saint-Germain's next door neighbours, aren't they?
Correct. That's a funny thing to see and to picture. Is the two stadiums are really close.
Yeah.
We are a much older club, but we're a much smaller club, so we have no rivalry with Paris FC. They are another planet compared to Paris FC. PSG is their own world. Their fan base is huge all over the world. But we have a smaller grounds. We have good pricing. We're not expensive compared to. There's no waiting list, to go and see Paris FC. And we've got a rich owner, so we're going to have some good players next season. We've got a good manager, Liam Rosina. I know Chelsea fans will not agree, but I think he's a decent manager for the French league. And we're aiming for Europe next year, so that should be a good season.
Oh, we shall see. We shall see.
Yeah,
Hugo,
I'd love to take you.
Yeah, well, yeah. Let's
after the game. Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Yeah, I will check the old Eurostar out.
100%.
Hugo, thank you very much for your time as always. Let's speak again.
Yeah, pleasure. Thank you for having me.
The World Cup champion will be crowned this week, and you can trade the tourney through the finals on Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform. Right now, Spain is trading at 58% to beat Argentina, meaning 100 trade pays out $166 if they win. On Kalshi, you're trading against other people in a live market. No house, no odds makers. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code HOOPS to get $10 when you trade $10. KALSHI. Kalshi. Trade the beautiful game. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Kalshi products are not available in all jurisdictions. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory.
Thank you to Hugo there with the view from France. I never knew of the aminicity between France and Argentina. Love learning about it. Something I never knew before. So he's the third placed match. I know the vast majority of us will say it doesn't really matter. I'm one of them. But as a game, if you're going to play it, you may as well go in with the intention of winning it. I have to say, though, I don't remember many of the previous ones. No doubt I'll have it on. I don't know, I might go to the pub to watch it. I'll have one eye on it and one eye elsewhere. But going forward with the podcast, I've been in touch with a few people who have been out in the States, hoping to chat with them about sharing their experiences of it for future episodes. So I may not review the France game immediately. I'm sure you'll forgive me. But just looking back, since those Florida series friendlies and the games around the World Cup, I've recorded 13 episodes. I've also been very fortunate to have done a couple of TV interviews and numerous radio interviews too. As I've said before, I've made a rod for my own back with this podcast. I'm up at all hours, editing, recording, and all that sort of thing. But I just want to say a massive thank you for you, for tuning in, for supporting, for contributing, for chatting online, just generally being part of the show. The school holidays start soon. I've got a family holiday booked, so the pod will probably take a little break. But once again, thank you. Without you all, it wouldn't be what it is. So before I go, don't forget, you can follow the show on social media. You know the drill. Just search 3 Lions Podcast. A follow, a like, a subscribe. And as I've mentioned before, if you happen to be passing the footballcontentawards.com, a nomination there would be appreciated. So, until the next time, take care of yourselves. And for those still out in the States, a safe flight back to you all. Cheers.
The World Cup champion will be crowned this week, and you can trade the tourney through the finals on Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform. Right now, Spain is trading at 58% to beat Argentina, meaning 100 trade pays out $166 if they win. On Kalshi, you're trading against other people in a live market. No house, no odds makers. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code HOOPS to get $10 when you trade $10. KALSHI. Kalshi. Trade the beautiful game. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Kalshi products are not available in all jurisdictions. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory.